Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of our friends, newcomers, and just people curious about the world of Fractured Online. Hello! Welcome to our latest Fractured Online dev stream. We are in a world of post early access, and I am the one and only Knilpu, joined as always by the Baron of Hell himself, Arcahem. How are you doing, man?
Oh, thank you. I'm excited to be here again. It's been quite a while since we've seen each other on stream with all our lovely community. Of course, I'm keeping an eye on chat and seeing if people have any interesting questions because today it's a beautiful AMA day, of course,
Yes, it
because
is.
we're also joined by the amazing Jacopo.
The amazing,
Oh,
the
thank you.
wonderful.
You are
We've got
amazing.
He's our favorite lead developer, CEO of Dynamight Studios, co-founder of Dynamight Studios, and he's got the best hair on stream today. Jacopo, how are you doing today, man?
Doing great. I'm super stoked to be here as always.
Oh, great. Well, um, elephant in the room, tiger. In fact, we have reached early access with Fractured Online. It is official. People get to play it. They get to touch it. They get to explore the world of Arboreus and the continent of Terra. Getting to set their first steps with the mighty Chadra race and the mighty elegant Erdwar race. One of the biggest changes that we've had since the last time we had you on, Jacopo. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, how's the feedback been? How have you liked it?
Okay, so first of all, yeah, I guess it's time to address in general the elephant in the room, aside from Terra, which is the whole Steam Early Access launch, which was quite rough, very rough, probably. So yeah, it was like yeah, the first 2 days, like we had these pretty serious technical issues, and I wanted to make some clarity on those, since we kind of tried to explain those, like in the Discord posts and on the forums and so on, but I never really had the chance to go more in depth in regarding what happened on Friday and Saturday. So, in a nutshell, what happened is that some of the external services that we use outside of the game code, all right? So, it's not the actual game servers which are built with Spatial OS and blah blah. Many people know the technology we're using and Unity, of course, but it's some like external services that connect and are used by game servers were failing because of load. And the fixes came pretty quickly, I guess. Half of it was fixed within 24 hours in a patch that we released on Friday afternoon. And the other half took quite a bit longer. We tried to make a patch on Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, European time. That didn't work. Then we made another one early afternoon European time on Sunday, and that one worked. And since then, it never had any load issue. It never crashed anything. So it just functioned perfectly as it was meant to be, as it was meant to, even with more players connected than before. So the fixes worked, right? So it was a pretty it was quite satisfying to see that gone. And of course, so that was the first half. And if you played on those 3 days, those services were used by so many things that so many things were broken in the game during those 3 days, right? In the guilds, parties, global chat, some maybe it could be land claiming, some city features, harbors, and I don't even know in how many places actually, how many pieces of the server code rely on those services, but it's just everywhere. And so many things in the game were broken, right? If you just like the PvE, learning abilities, exploring, whatever, that was all fine. But as long as you try to do these other things like parties and cities and blah blah, you encounter many errors, if not completely broken, features like the guilds of the parties. So that is all gone now. It's been going smooth since Sunday, so that is out. Of course, we have other issues. I think we released the first big. We released more than one patch. Of course, the last bug fix patch was yesterday, and it had a lot of fixes, mostly related to the continent of Terra, which had issues with monsters being too strong, crops with fertility it was always zero, and blah 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 blah. You name it, you can see the if you check on the Discord news channel, you can see all the patch logs, or on Steam in the community hub, or fracturedonline.com news on the news page. You can see that there is detailed patch logs for all the fixes that we implemented. You can see it's many, also not related to the continent of Terra, and many others are also coming next week. Like I think there's going to be another good 20, 30 important bug fixes coming, other than polishing and so on. The other thing that we're working on right now very hard is improving server performance. So when there are many players in a certain area of the world with many monsters, like say the Veil of Shadows, which is a classic place where there's a lot of creatures, a lot of PvE, a lot of PvP also going on in that place. Where there's just a lot, then latency goes up, and we need to profile, which means analyze the servers, what they're doing, what is happening, and fix it. It's not something related to spatial OS; it's more something related to Unity. So Unity is used on the server side, and we need to understand what it is and fix it. So that is there's going to be a big focus for the next weeks. Other than that, I mean, I played, I have regular player accounts, secret accounts nobody knows about. And I play a bit, I played on Terra, and I basically found the same issues that the players found, of course. And, but I love the environment of Terra personally. I mean, I think it's my favorite environment of all. I mean, I also like the northern areas of Erin and so on, but the jungle and this very lush environment is I think something else. So it's for now it's my continent of choice.
Oh yeah, Terra is absolutely a beautiful continent.
It's gorgeous.
I loved it so far as well. When I've been playing in my off time, it's just been a great amount of fun. Seeing all the beautiful environment, especially the jungle. The jungle has been by far my favorite.
The
Yeah,
jungle
It's
biome is awesome.
it's mostly jungle. We need to do some tweaks to the volcanic area, which is not really complete. So that one requires still a bit of work. Other than that, I mean, it's in general the continent is pretty complete. We also need to put in the legends, which our artists are working on right now. I think there's already maybe later I can show a preview of the first legend, which is giant frog. And other than that, yeah, it's. I mean, they're coming. We're just working on them right now. That's the other big piece that is missing from Terra.
Oh yeah, you can already sign me up after Giant Frog.
Yeah, I'm in for Giant Frog. I voice a frog in several D&D campaigns, so I'm all for Giant Frog. Before we get into a full list of questions, because I know that there's a lot of people who are dropping their questions here in the chat, and we want to make sure that we see all of those and we get all those. But before we get into that, I want to give away a bronze pack today, so that we've got somebody here in chat who has not been able to get into the game, who now can get a key, install it on Steam, and start playing right away. So what I want to do is I want to start off with a raffle, and the keyword is going to be !fractured online, !fractured online, all lowercase, all one word, !fractured online. If you need help spelling it, it's right above Arcahem. !fractured online. We're going to be giving away a bronze pack for Steam right now, and that is not the only giveaway we're going to be doing today, so make sure that you stay for the entirety of the stream, because we've got more giveaways to do today. During this wonderful AMA stream, as Jacopo has taken time out of his busy schedule to join us. !fractured online. Get him in chat. We're going to be pulling that bronze pack here in just a sec. As soon as I get a little sip of water. I'm out of water. No water for me.
Don't take from Knilpu. Hydration is important. Drink water.
Yes, it is. Drink water. Hydrate. Everyone hydrate. And don't fret, we will be getting to the AMA portion of the stream, so do drop your questions in chat. We already have a list prepared, but if we see some hot pressing questions there in chat, this might be a good time to answer them, so you might get lucky today. !fractured online. Our first winner of the day for a bronze Founders Pack is going to be Grimsy Boo. Grimsy Boo,
Oh.
make your presence known in chat, Grimsy Boo. And we will
I love
make
that
sure...
name.
Yeah, it's a great one. We will make sure you get your
There he
Founders
is.
Pack. Where is it?
I see him. Grimsy.
There it is.
Said, whoa.
All right, Grimsy Boo, we're going to be getting you that. And with that, let's go ahead and jump into our AMA questions, because we've got a lot of hot pressing ones and little time to get through them all. So let's make sure that we get at least to the first hot pressing ones. Arcahem, why don't you go ahead and start us off today with the first, maybe most burning. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see how it feels by the end of it.
Absolutely. I want to first of all thank the community again for giving us all of your questions. There are so many. We're gonna try to go through all of them. Of course, we don't want to keep all of you here for 2 hours going through all of them. But of course, we're gonna start by one of the most burning questions that people may have seen plenty of times, and I'm sure Jacopo may have also seen this plenty of times. And I want to start us off with a very good question. Third crop when?
Oh, Olive, that's you. That's tell me that it's not you. Okay, third crop when? We are working on it. We just had such a big list of things to do, and also related to the, of course, to the fixes and to the launch that I mentioned before. That the third crop will have to wait a bit longer. And in fact, actually, we want to do it on a more serious note. We want to do it when we improve farming as a whole, because right now it's limited to cities, right? So regular players can't really do farming. Regular players is, so it's it's a big feature from which players who don't live in a city are cut off, and it's also, you have the whole rotation of crops and blah blah, which is nice, but then the temperature doesn't affect the crops, for instance, so everybody can grow everything everywhere. So we want to get these systems to work, to make it a bit deeper and more interesting for commerce and so on. And when we do that, we will also do the third crop, but not before that.
Great question. So, as you heard it, third crop being worked on. It's gonna come here. We want to jump to another question that we've seen in chat. So I also want to get this question answered for everyone that asked it. Stargates, when are we getting them?
We are aiming for next week. That's the aim.
Nice.
Don't take it for granted. I mean, they need to be.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Uh-oh. That may have been Jacopo's boss pulling the plug on him. I'm not sure. No, I'm kidding, obviously. You okay down there, buddy? Well.
Oh, wow.
Let's take this time while Jacopo is thinking, and let's give away another let's give away another one. Exclamation point, Fractured Online. Go ahead and get them in the chat there. Exclamation point, Fractured Online. We're gonna be doing another giveaway here in just a sec. Exclamation point, Fractured Online. And where is my little...
Don't worry, guys. Jacopo went through the Stargate. He's gonna come back soon.
Oh, yeah, I know where that is. That needs to be... There we go. Exclamation point, Fractured Online. Let's go ahead and roll it for another bronze pack. This time the winner is going to be Shmoo356. Shmoo356. Go ahead and make your presence known, Shmoo. We will get you that fractured key. Oh, and that's going to...
Can you...
Oh.
Yep, welcome back. Welcome back. Hey, all right.
There is one thing that I never learned. Never trust my home connection, my home Wi-Fi, because it is going to fail in the moment when it's needed most. So yeah, the home internet just it's just gone. So now I'm using my 3G from my mobile phone, and that
Oh wow, okay, so we're going archaic.
Yeah. I mean, it's mobile technology is not so archaic actually, but yeah. So it is. I'm back, and it's this one should be stable. Next time I will start with this one period.
We've been telling people that you went through the Stargate, so that's why the connection was a bit bumpy.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I don't know how long I was like. You could listen to me. I'm going to repeat from the beginning, I guess. The aim is next week for the Stargates, And I mean, we are going to do QA. There's going to be QA, of course, so it could slip to the following week. So that is possible, but the aim is next week, end of next week.
That's a good aim. That's you're still a little bit robot-y, just so you know. But we did get the message that hopefully next week is is where the answer is for Stargates.
Oh, is it still not?
Eh,
Still, the connection is still poor.
and you're kind of doing a translated Godzilla movie thing going on right now too. But you know, that's okay.
No, damn it! I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I can solve this. I mean, I'm trying my best.
Well,
Can,
that's
can you
okay.
put my mobile phone outside of the window? That's the last resort. Like a mobile phone outside of the window.
I'll send you
Let me
some
try
copper
this.
wire and a Folgers can, and you can make a cantenna.
That's
Oh.
yeah. That's. I probably should have done it before the stream. Yeah. So.
Well,
Alright,
we
let's
do.
try these.
Let's try to
I
get
did it.
through.
Is it better?
It is better, actually.
Oh yeah.
We'll try to get through a couple more questions. If we lose you somewhat, that's okay. We'll still get the answers
Okay.
eventually. So, what kind of maluses do wild folk suffer when they enter Syndasia? Are they not only able to transform in? Are they not able to transform into primal form? What other debuffs do they suffer, if any?
Well, actually, they don't really have any debuff. And the thing about the primal form is that they require energy, primal energy, to transform. That is only harvestable on Arboreos. So they can come in, they can do it once. They can do it more if they bring crystals with them, but they are very rare and very precious, so super expensive. So it's actually going to be only very few, a very limited amount of players will be able to do that. Otherwise, it's you probably you would want to go to Syndasia with enough with your full energy bar loaded, so that you can do one or 5 transformations at most, lasting for I don't remember which is each what how long they would be in total, like 1 minute or 2 minutes, and then you're done basically. So that's the limit is not really anything mechanical, like you press the button and it says you cannot do it here. It's just that you cannot get the energy on Syndasia to do it.
Ah, okay. Okay, that makes sense.
Righty. And on to the next question.
That's
Is
a
there any
burning
plans
one.
for... Oh yeah. Is there any plans for different aesthetics, like cultural themes for towns, or will they all look the same? Which, may I add, the houses on Arboreus, they look beautiful. I love them.
Yeah, well, we try to make them, pretty like recognizable compared to the ones on Syndasia. But for now, we don't really have the resources to do more than what we did now. So there's going to be different aesthetic for Tartarus as well, of course. But for now, we have to stick to one style for the human planet, one style for the demon planet, and one style for the wildfolk planet.
Right on.
Very nice.
Do we still... Are there still expected stat resets in early access? Or, I mean, if so, how often or how close to being towards the end of beta will that continue to happen?
Oh, can you repeat? You broke up for
Oh,
like
okay.
2 seconds. My connection probably again.
Are there any more expected stat wipes or stat resets for characters through early access
Wipes.
progression?
Okay, that's the words I missed. No, it's there are no wipes planned until release. Yeah,
Nice.
so for now, there's nothing. Yeah, unless something really tragic happens, like I don't know, a big dupe or dupe bug or something that screws up the economy of the game completely.
Sure.
Okay.
This one. This one's actually one I've been having in my heart since I started playing.
And go for it. It's yours.
Okay, I'll take it. When will creature taming and monster taming be implemented?
Post release for sure.
Right
That's not before release. Yeah. It was one of the stretch goals of Kickstarter, and it's a pretty distant goal because it's. I mean, I love animal taming. Like I always did it when I was playing Ultima Online. So I mean, I love the thing. I really do. But we have like core features coming before that.
I was a bioengineer and a creature tamer in Star Wars Galaxies for my second MMO that I ever played, and that has lived in my heart ever since.
Yeah, Star Wars Galaxies was amazing as well.
This one's all you, Marcos.
All right. I'm gonna ask this question. This is a very, very common. Like I heard it many, many times with among the community. So, let's get this question answered right away. Will it have the ability to swap left and right click?
I have like a big pack of quality of life updates planned. Among them, adding more visual options and more control options. And no, that's not WASD, but it's more possibility to customize what your mouse buttons do. And so that also includes the possibility to swap the two buttons or to have a control set that is more reminiscent of like RTS games, like or MOBAs inspired by RTS games like League of Legends or Dota. So yeah, we're going to have that control set as well.
Very nice. I know a lot of people will be happy to hear that. But also on the same topic, which brings also to the next question: what UI and quality of life changes have you got planned?
Oh, as I've said, on the visual side, like in general, we want to take that settings menu and put a lot of options that aren't there in there. So one of them is for, there are many small things. I don't think it makes sense to list them all here, but there are many things like don't show your name, don't show the names of other characters, improve the chat so that you can have like different channels for different languages, muting other players, having the possibility to decide what message come up are displayed in the chat or above the head, more visual settings in general. There's a lot of stuff that can be, that players can find useful and has been requested by important portion of the community. So there is that part, and then of course there is all the improvements to latency compensation, combat, all the instances where you shoot an arrow and it misses, but on the server it actually hits, or it hits on your client, but on the server actually misses. So this kind of desync between client and server due to latency. There's a lot of stuff. We have our eyes on, and we are working on it. We're going to work on it in the next patches.
Right on. Kind of on that same step, will there be few extra steps added to the intro quest for the new player experience that explain horse taming or how to get a horse?
Yeah. Okay. I think this is a very good question because and to reply to it, I have to speak of the journey system, which I don't know if I ever mentioned it to the community, but it's like a whole, maybe I mentioned it in another stream actually, but it's a whole new system in the game to guide new players, right? So that's going to replace the quests of the tutorial. The way it looks like, it's like an achievement system, quest/achievement system, not with NPCs in the game, but from a menu. And in this menu, you will have, as long as you read the tutorial, you will have a way better visualization with also images and so on of the tutorial quests. So if you don't know how a flashing beam looks like, there you go. You will have a picture of a flashing beam for your pores to skin. And then you will also, after the tutorial, this will continue, right? So you will keep receiving this achievement/quest that will guide you towards to discover the different features of the game in a reasoned manner, right? I can give you some example. Like it will make you use the bank, it will make you use the marketplace, it will tell you what are the easiest points of interest that are suggested for new players where to go, and the abilities and the housing system, not as the first thing, but maybe a bit later when it's better to do the housing and so on. Of course, it doesn't force you really to do anything in the order that is suggested by these achievements/quests, but it's going to be very useful for players who are lost after the tutorial. I spoke about it some other times. The horses are also a very good example. Like people don't know where to find horses, they don't know they can get it on the marketplace and so on. So just having a quest that guides them towards getting a horse and teaches them how is going to be very useful in early game. Also with this system we can give rewards, right? So we could have, just an idea, a weaker mount that we can give to everyone once they complete the quest, one of the first 2 or 3 quests after the tutorial, for example, and we can give other rewards to players through this system, to give an incentive also to follow that and to learn this way. And by the way, these are going to be account based quests/achievements, not character based. So you just do them once. Doesn't matter with what characters you do it, because the purpose there is to guide you to discover the different features of the game. Not once you did it once, you don't have to do it with another character, of course.
That's
Sounds
pretty
pretty
cool.
good.
I always like it when when progression and tutorial missions are account based. It's always nicer when you like to make a bunch of different characters like I do.
Mm-hmm. Sounds great. I also love like knowing the fact that the being work that is work being done on the new player experience, because sometimes also me as a new player, like I don't like all the hand holding, but I like some help understanding the system so I
Some.
can ease into the
Yeah.
game a bit better.
Yeah, I mean, you can always ignore it. You know, if you don't
Oh,
want
yeah.
it, you can always ignore it completely. But in general, I think most players are going to follow it. Also, you can also do it like you can just play however you want, and these achievements will be completed passively, because it's not like you have to, as I said, speak with this NPC, that NPC, kill this monster, go find that item and that item. It's not like that, you know. It's way broader and more generic. So even if you don't never open that menu while you play, they will be completed eventually, right? You will complete them just by playing, even if you ignore them, even if you ignore them.
Perfect. All right, then let's move on to the next question. Can you allow Arcanists to be able to pick a different element to start with instead of fire?
Yeah, there were a couple of questions we collected regarding the starting backgrounds. Eventually, once we implement ability level up, we are going to do a big shuffle of what abilities are available on what continents. We will be able to put more abilities in each continent, because you also have the level up that requires going to the other planets or other continents. Thanks to this, we're also going to be able to give more abilities to starting backgrounds and have more starting backgrounds. So the idea is to have more in the future, not just maybe not new spells for the Arcanist, but maybe have a Pyromancer and a Cryomancer as starting backgrounds. You know, so that is the idea. Like a lot more starting backgrounds.
Storm Mage, Ice Mage, Fire Mage kind of starters. Sign me up for Ice Mage.
I know a certain someone that would like to be an ice mage.
People complain so much about the Ice Mage, and now in open PvP, everybody's in group PvP, half of the players are Ice Mages. So.
Oh,
You gotta slow them to win them. That's how you gotta do it. I can take this next one if we're ready to ask the next burning question. When will we get a custom start from where we can pick? I guess that still qualifies as the same thing, because you answered it.
Yeah.
But a custom start with being able to select our stat pools into different ways, are those always going to be locked to backgrounds, or will those be a little bit more adaptable?
I guess the question was about skills, not about stats, because stats you can change.
Yeah. Oh, was it skills?
Yeah, but no, that's not.
Right on.
We're still going to have templates.
Also, Knilpu, on chat they're saying that your microphone level is lower.
Oh, let me fix it. I don't know why this continues happens.
It's also very high for me.
Here, if I do it here, then it shouldn't be a problem, and it shouldn't change you guys at all. It should just be for the stream. Thank you. I don't like being quiet. That's why I'm a streamer.
Okay, then let's move on to the next question. Will you be adding race-specific backgrounds?
Yeah. That is possible. I mean, one thing that we want to do is like have a lot of backgrounds and remove some in certain continents. So not really race-specific backgrounds, but more like because anyway we want to give the freedom to someone to pick a deer and or a Widra, as it's probably called, and then be a gladiator. Start with be a warrior, and start with a gladiator template. Not the wisest move, but why not? Why not allowing it? So removing them, just based on like two different types of Wildfolk, for example, probably not. But having them different by macro race, like human versus Wildfolk, because of the continent where you start in, then yes. because some templates maybe, so let's say we make a necromancer, we add more necromancy spells and we add the necromancer template. Well, then starting background, that background is not going to be available on Arboreus probably, because you don't have any necromancer ability on Arboreus, so you would not be able to have any follow up and improve on that background. So that's, yeah. So there's going to be, once we do that work, then there are also going to be differences between different planets probably.
Right on. A technical question that has been kind of coming through quite a bit, that it's one of those future creep kind of things. Will there be Stream Deck optimization? Steam Deck. Steam Deck. God, I hate that word.
Yeah. Not planned for now. Not planned.
Okay, that's fair.
In the meantime, I'm going to take a bit of water because I'm a bit sick, as you can hear. I don't want to keep coughing for the whole stream. So
that gives us an opportunity while he goes and gets a small sip. Do we want to do another one? Oh no, he's already back. Look at that. I think we should do one more.
Oh yeah, sure.
Let's do it. I don't want to cover up too many people's questions in chat, but let's go ahead and give away one gold pack before we go into the next question, because the next question is a burning question, really. Exclamation point gold pack in the chat. We're going to bump it up a little bit. Nuts to the bronze. We're going full gold. So if you want to get into Fraction Online right now with a Founders Pack and be able to play at launch with all of those wonderful gold privileges that come with that, exclamation point gold pack in the chat right now. Let me double check. Yes, it is exclamation point gold pack. Get that in the chat. We want to see a bunch of names, a bunch of exclamation points, because we want to give them away. We want you guys to be playing Fraction Online. So let's go ahead and give away this first gold pack. 3, 2, 1. Our winner's going to be Karnaga. If you can make your presence known in chat, we will get you that gold pack.
Yay! It's a yay. Nice. They're in there.
Yay, indeed. All right, let's get them that pack.
Congratulations.
Congrats, indeed. And the next question for you, Jacopo, is going to be one that I've actually had in my mind because people have asked me about it, and I don't know. What are the VIP privileges? What are the VIP benefits going to actually give players?
Oh, that's a very good question for which we still don't have an exact answer. The only thing, because we haven't really planned all the details for the VIP, the only thing I can tell you is that it's not going to sell power. That's, I've repeated like a million times. You're not going to become stronger because you have VIP. So a bit of convenience, a bit of, minor time savers, something like that. Why not? I mean, it doesn't really hurt the economy of the game. It doesn't really hurt the balancing of the game. It doesn't really make you more competitive. But other than that, there's not going to be anything that makes you stronger than other players. So that's my promise.
That's real good. I was slightly worried about that. But as long as there's no power creep in a VIP membership, then everything's fine. Cosmetics and convenience are totally justifiable.
Okay, so on to the next question. Will character names be unique per server?
Eventually, yes. I mean, I don't know. In theory, they were not meant to be unique, and then you were just meant to be able to. They would become unique only if you had the possibility to reserve it. But then maybe somebody suggested that actually it doesn't make sense that it works that way, and that they should be unique. Otherwise, the reservation doesn't make much sense. So yeah, maybe they will become unique by account. I don't know. We still have to decide exactly. But there's going to be the possibility to reserve them if you have this in your founder pack. That's going to come before full release.
Very nice. And on the topic of Founders Pack, how many character slots will we get at release?
Also a question I don't have the exact answer for. It's probably going to be something like 3, but not guaranteed.
Okay. That's fair. Three's a good character number.
It's a very nice number. I like it as well.
Thoughts on adding, this is a visual technical question, but thoughts on adding a fog of war to limit the vision of players that have oversized or widescreen monitors?
Not planned for now. No, it will be technically also problematic. So no.
Okay. Marcos, I'll let you.
Alright.
Arcahem, I'll let you answer that question. Sorry to dox you.
Alright, next question. So, starting as melee is comparably terrible compared to range, of course. So much that most players recommend starting as range, then switching into your desired class. Are there any plans to buff the early game for melee characters?
Yeah, in general, I mean, it's. I guess people recommend to start as an archer, like as a ranger, and not as a range. Or did the question just say a range specifically, or ranger? What was it?
Ranged.
I think it's just
Ranged.
ranged versus melee.
Okay, it's very generic. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, people have been complaining that the mage is too weak forever. So I don't know. I mean, what I know is that the bowman background, right? So starting as an archer is or ranger is like the easiest way to start. That I agree. Absolutely, it's easy. Like you auto attack, so you don't need so many abilities. The starting abilities are good, and you have the range. So it's you use less mana than a mage character, of course. And so it's like that's the easiest way to start. As for melee, probably the street rat template is the worst right now. It's the hardest, also because it makes you craft a type of armor that it shouldn't make you craft. It should make you craft hide armor as well, and but also the issue there is that it's probably the biggest issue is the starting background. Even there, right? It doesn't have a set of abilities that is satisfying enough, and that makes you you probably struggle a bit with that set of abilities. So we could improve on that. Also on the items that we make you craft, for example. Then also if we change the abilities, then maybe it's no longer going to be a spear you start with, but a sword and a shield, for example. You get, and then we're going to try to find a better starting background and better abilities and different quests, so that when you get out of the tutorial with that character, you can play better. In general, I have played with melee, and honestly, I haven't found it particularly hard to play with. In fact, I find the mage harder to play with compared to like a warfare-based character in the beginning. But yeah, maybe this question comes more from people starting with a street rat background, which is very, very hard to play with.
Yo. I always try to pick the rogue if I can.
Yeah, the rogue is hard. Starting with the rogue is very, very hard.
Oh yeah, but it's
I'm more of a mage person myself. I like the flashy skills.
Subtlety and assassination for me. But looking forward into the future, are Carpenter NPC contracts still planned for release, and any idea what they're gonna do?
No, they're probably going to be replaced with something else. Because we don't have like house maintenance anymore. So if we manage to do house maintenance, then they will be a thing, not as an actual NPC, but more like a feature that prevents decay. If we don't manage to do house maintenance, then we will have to replace them with a different type of reward, because then they don't really make sense,
That makes sense.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna take the next question.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Oh yeah, it's a very big one. So, could you provide an updated guesstimate when some features are going to be included, pre-launch, post-launch, like abominations, angel, liches, complete races, taming, dungeons, fishing, completed talent trees, ring, necklace, crafting, comeback, friend list, whisper, etc. There's a lot of stuff in this question.
There's a lot of stuff. No, I cannot give you, not even guesstimates. It would be like really wild guesses that don't make any sense. In general, like I can tell you what is higher priority and what is lower priority. I mean, things like demons, for example, are a higher priority. Things like fishing, or expansion goals for Kickstarter are lower priority. So we will see exactly how where everything fits. Because we're probably going to have surveys, ask the community what they want to see more, and then plan accordingly. Dungeons, of course, are also a high priority, higher than fishing, for example. So we're going to set things up so that we answer to the request of the community. But of course, it's going to take a while to have all the things that you listed, right? So for example, also the chat improvements, Whisper and so on, that is very high priority, for example. So hopefully before launch, actually not after launch, all the chat improvements. But then the rest is going to have to be spread over the course of like 2 years or something like that, because it's really taming, fishing, demons, blah blah blah. It's a lot of stuff, of course.
All
A
right.
lot of great features to be added.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I'm gonna take also this other question that it's actually two questions, but they're very similar in a sense. Is the ratio amount of spells or skills that are intelligence, strength, dexterity, perceptions based going to be adjusted towards being less intelligence heavy before release? And are there any plans to rebalance all skills?
I mean, we do always do balancing. Balancing is like ongoing constantly. So of course there is always a plan to rebalance. As soon as something proves to be too strong, a build that beats all the others, or doesn't have really, or just requires a specific counter, otherwise it dominates. Whenever this type of scenario arises, then we are always ready to fix it. So there will be a rebalancing. I cannot tell you exactly if that's going to be related to intelligence being too strong. I mean, if the question is about the fact that there are a lot of abilities that stack with int and not as many abilities for warriors, for example, then I can already tell you, yes, we are not going to move like mage abilities to a different attribute, of course, but we're going to add more abilities for warriors and rangers, so more non-magical abilities in the future.
Sounds great. Love to see more love for our warrior users out there.
Will future skills always be bound to specific types of armor, or will that system change?
No, the system should stay. It's probably going to stay.
Okay.
In general, it's just a light, medium, heavy armor, right? It's not
Sure.
a specific set, but it's light, medium, heavy.
It's this next question, Marcos. I did it again. Arcahem, I'm sorry. We work together. Arcahem. The next question, of course, is going to be a bit of a change in direction from the normal sets of questions. This is going to be not so much a technical one, but a little bit more of a spiritual one. Do you want to go ahead and ask it?
Oh yeah, definitely. This is a very nice question, of course. I know a lot of people like me, of course, always have inspiration for their work they do. But of course, also Fracture has the team that the developer always have some inspiration somewhere. So of course, the question is, what games inspired your team to create Fracture Online?
That's a question I've replied to a few times. I mean, I guess Ultima Online is always the first one that I love to mention it first, because it changed my life and the life of the other founders of the company. I don't know it for the best or for the worst, but it definitely changed it. So there is that, and of course it's isometric, right? So that's where our love for isometric games and isometric MMOs in particular is born there with Ultima in 2003 or 4. I don't remember exactly when I started, but yeah, around that time. Then of course there's going to be, we played almost any MMORPG, so inspiration comes from many games. The whole city system and like city sieges and so on. Shadowbane is a big inspiration. For other mechanics on the sandbox side, Star Wars Galaxies that you mentioned before is also a big source of inspiration. And then there is a bit from this, a bit from that. Inspiration can come from many other MMOs as well. Also games that are not MMOs, like from action combat, action RPGs and so on. There is for maybe this little thing, that little thing. And there's of course there is Dungeons and Dragons, right? Which is not an MMO, but it's not a computer game also. But you can see D&D in some of the abilities, in some of the attributes. Much. Yeah, so it's definitely there.
All right. So I'm gonna ask this other question, of course.
Gonna get back into technical land.
Oh yeah. Since there won't be as much late game PvE content as initially planned for Arboreus, only 1 out of 3 continents at release, are there plans to include one of the promised solution changes to summoning legendary creatures on Syndasia?
Well, I mean, we are going to have legendary creatures on our borders as well. So there's that. I mean, this is going to happen. Um, we are also going to have, I mean, changing the rules on Syndasia. We'll see. It's something that we discussed, so I wouldn't say it's impossible. Like it's possible that we're going to do something for Syndasia as well, and in the way the legends are summoned and completed and so on. But we'll see. Not guaranteed.
On the kind of the topic of PvP, what happens if one race is starting to feel overpopulated to the point that the other races are feeling underwhelmed or overwhelmed? Excuse me.
I mean, it's always about balancing, you know. If a race is too strong because of the, you know, the primal form is too strong, or the starting bonuses are too strong for the wild folk, and then everybody who wants to play competitive plays with a deer or a tiger. If they want to be a mage, or if they want to be, say, a rogue, for instance, we will have to make changes to that. So we will have to rebalance.
That's fair. On a technical standpoint, at least in terms of server connectivity, is there going to be one server for everyone to play on, or will there eventually be regional servers split up?
I mean, the original server thing is an open consideration, you know, an open discussion. We may do regional servers. It depends on the player population. I mean, there are some areas of the world where latency is a problem, right? To the whole of Asia, with one server in the US. I mean, we cannot beat the speed of light, so there's always going to be a big latency. And so Asian servers are something that we are considering right now, because, you know, Europe West, North America, South America is good, and then the more you move east, then the problems come. So having another cluster there, another war there, could be very beneficial for players from Asia. But as I say, it's an open discussion.
Right on. Marcos, you wanna? Damn it! It's because I keep seeing the M.
Yeah, I'll take the next question. Sure. Could we add an option to auto skip the intro when logging in? It's great, but I don't need to watch it every time.
I guess we can add that to the many new flags to be added to the settings menu. Yeah, sure, makes sense.
This next question we've kind of already answered with yes, there will be quality of life changes coming before and at launch. Most likely, that was already discussed. Is there still a plan for items crafted by a player to have their name added to the item that they craft, kind of like a little tag or a little label on it?
Oh, it's not planned for now.
Okay, so there are a lot of fake bridges on there. You can see the bridge on the map, but you can't pass through it because of a rock or a big root. Does the team plan to remake them so we can go through them?
I wouldn't say that they are fake bridges. I think they are pretty real bridges, but there's a bug with the rocks not being removed. So yeah, it's definitely a high priority fix.
That's some pathing that's in the way.
Oh yeah, definitely. Then also another question: is there an option to recommend some? To recommend some to the developers, we're right here, so, of course. So yeah, we do. I really think adding a lock to player-owned houses should be a thing. If I'm a player, I want to feel safe in my house. I don't think it makes any sense that anyone else can come into my house.
Not a lock like you know, like with keys, key item and so on, but we can absolutely, I mean, we absolutely should make it so that only you or friends or you know can open the door, or you can choose, or you can put a permission level on the door. But more likely, it's the easiest way to do it is that you must be a friend of the land claim to use the door. So we're going to see about that. But yeah, we have to do it. eventually.
That question's been answered. Will humans and wild folk be able to travel between planets? Yes, we've already covered Stargates. Is the talent tree going to be more developed, or is the talent tree as we see it pretty much what we're getting as it's being worked on?
Very good question. It depends on how much time we have post-release to to work on this, say, progression expansions. Because right now the idea is indeed to. I mean, there was this idea floating around of expanding the talent tree, not in making that talent tree larger, but maybe have some sort of like specialization once you complete a branch, like having starting a second talent tree, or there are ideas, like there are many ideas regarding the talent tree. We will see if we will have time to do it, if it's considered high priority or not, if it fits with the design of the game and the progression system that we use and so on. So yeah, we'll see, but it's possible.
Right on. That's a good answer. Another technical question that's been coming up a couple times. You kind of already answered it with yes, that key binding changes will come in the future, but will there ever be added controller support or ability for any additional adaptive controllers or anything that could be used?
For now, it's not planned.
Right. Are there any chances that we can get Fraction Online on GeForce now? It allows for early access games.
Well, I don't know. That's more like a question for Gamigo, I guess, than for me.
Be a Gamigo question.
Yeah.
We can certainly look into that. I have no idea at this point, but we can certainly look into that.
Yeah, I don't think there is a plan for it at this very moment. Pretty sure there isn't any plan.
It's difficult to say now, but we'll see about it.
Yeah.
When can we reserve names?
Sometime before launch, full launch.
Will we be getting more skill slots? I assume that means at the bottom of the screen as the little the 8 action bar.
No.
Nope. Is that what it is?
Nope. There you go.
All right, I like that answer. Nope. Will we, on that note, with the skills, will we be able to click on the skills in the collapsible menus when we open them like this? In the sense of they don't have to be dragged down to the action bar, but can we ever get to a point where we can click on them? Basically, it would give another 2 rows of 8.
No.
Cool.
That's the same question. Specifically, I think there was this question asking about the abilities that are passive, like Mage Armor, for instance, like this toggle abilities. And the answer is also not, because it's on purpose, the idea that if you want to have Mage Armor, then you give up one of your slots. If you have protection from fire, then you give up one of your slots. It's a decision that you have to make.
Perfect.
I will go ahead.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
Will there be knowledge points for maxing out crafting?
It's possible that there will be. I mean, in the original design, there were meant to be. Then it was like removed because it didn't fit with the balancing and so on. But it kind of makes sense that you do get them because of you're progressing, you're becoming better. So it definitely makes sense that for things to work that way. So, and also to consume maybe knowledge points if you want to learn a new recipe, for example. So yeah, it's possible that it's going to happen when we do, like, if we do a little revision to the whole quality crafting mastery progression, then why not?
Right on.
Oh, absolutely. Sounds cool. Then this next question is something that it's a very nice question that I like. Can we get a collection of custom markers to set on the map?
That is also one of the quality of life. I mean, that's not as a high priority as some other changes, so I cannot make any promise, but it's on the list of possible improvements.
Very well.
technical question that I've seen come up a couple of times. We've already gotten the answer of, console release, no plans at this time. But as for continued PC release, as in different operating systems, iOS and Linux, are there any plans to bring Fractured Online to those different operating systems?
I mean, Linux at this point is very far off. Mac is should happen eventually, but we cannot make any estimate on when that is going to happen.
That's fair. A question that kind of can be answered on the website, but when will the other, well, I guess not on the website, but when will the other 2 Wildfolk races be available for players? Expected.
Also, that is really hard to tell.
Mm-hmm.
They should become available in the next months, but we don't have an exact date yet.
The art teams are working really hard on those animations.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to see the bear people.
Oh, same. Absolutely. All right. Horses and recipes are the only items in Fractured Online that are just a one-time use. Will this be changed in the future?
There was a discussion going on regarding the recipes. Regarding the horses, for sure. Like, we want to make horses get old, lose durability, which is something that is works better for an item than a horse. But since the horse is an item, when you tokenize it, in fact, it should lose durability and eventually disappear, so that you have to get a new one. Otherwise, it's never. Eventually, there's not going to be a market for horses. So yes, for them. As for the recipes, we'll see. Right? The idea was thrown around to have recipes decay, like you forget a recipe and then you have to learn it again after that much time passes or after those many pieces crafted. But of course, they would have to last for a very long time anyway. But yeah, it's just a possibility.
Oh yeah, that sounds amazing. I also love this idea of forgetting recipes.
Yeah,
I never forget mine, but
that actually, like, I was even just brain churning right then of like, wow, what if you like haven't crafted a sword in like 6 months and somebody's like, hey man, can I get a sword? And you go to make, yeah, let me. I don't know how to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. That's awesome. I never even considered that. Unstuck command or a button, please help button. Is there any chance that can get implemented?
Yeah, absolutely. An automatic bug report button and so on. Absolutely. It's absolutely planned.
That seems like one that was definitely on the plan.
And very as soon as possible, in fact. So yeah.
I know the answer to this question, but I'll ask anyway. The various Kickstarter and Founder packs came with exclusive contents to those packs. Is there any plan to include those items in the beta test version of the game before full launch? No, right?
No, not really.
Yeah, most of those items I know are promised at launch.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, you want to ask that frenzy question?
I will ask that frenzy question. Will frenzy be updated to allow access with unarmed combat?
Rawr, claws.
The frenzy. Well, I mean, I don't know. That's more like a question for like it's a very specific balancing question, so I cannot really give an answer. It kind of makes. I don't know. Was it maybe like that and it was changed in the past? I honestly don't remember. I mean, it kind of makes sense that, I mean, why not? Like, if you can use it with a melee weapon, why not also with your punches? Aside from the fact that punches kind of rely on attack speed a lot, so it's possible that making them too fast could create an imbalance for things like, the crystal punches that silence people and so on. So we'll see. I mean, it's way too specific to give an answer to that.
All right. Let's take a little bit a sidetrack to some in-game and in-game questions and technical questions. I was wondering if there are any plans to do a Meet the Developer team, a live stream, or possibly even a dev diary with more of the developer team. I have talked to Jacopo, admittedly more than others most likely, but I would very much like to meet the rest of the team.
Yeah, we should. I mean, the best thing to do for that would be like a dev diary, I think, presenting the whole team and so on. It's something that I really hope we will find the chance to do in the next months.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Okay,
So
so
yeah, get ready, team. I know you're here. I know you're listening.
I've met some of them. They're very nice. So everyone may be in
Yeah.
for to meet nice faces. Maybe.
Yeah, they're
I promise
alright.
nothing. Are you planning to expand the available knowledge points? I farm most of the mobs on Mir and Erhan, and I am running out of knowledge points, but there is still plenty of skills I want to unlock and try out.
I'm kind of surprised by this question because the problem, like numerically, is actually the opposite. Like there are too many knowledge points compared to the abilities that you have to learn. So it's very hard, like, to remain without knowledge points unless you decided to go all in on the talent tree and just unlock any talent as soon as you had enough knowledge points, and then you don't have enough for the abilities. But you know, if when you change continent, you will get a ton of knowledge, additional knowledge points. You know, so if you have that problem, just change continent and you're going to get a ton. Still not enough, because if you're a completionist and you want to learn all the abilities of the game, do some legends, for instance, or buy the Lost Tales from other players on the marketplace, whatever, and learn the Lost Tales, and then you get a ton of more knowledge points. So yeah, there are way more knowledge points in the game right now than there are talents to unlock and abilities to discover. So yeah, you just have to probably just change continent to be able to progress.
Yeah.
Will there be? This is gonna. I'm gonna fall on this one, so I'm the one that gets labeled as this. Will there be female wild folk one day?
Possible. I mean, right now we don't have the resources to do it. That's the reason why we didn't do it, because it's you will have to create new faces and so on. Plus, it's more like, okay, you have a tiger, female tiger, okay, deer, easier, but female bear, how? It's a
Thick.
bit complicated, you know. Yeah, you know,
Thick
we have,
thighs.
yeah, okay. we
Done.
have these characters that are very, you know, closer to an animal than many people expect, you know. And so, like, making the female version for things like a bear, for example, is complicated. I mean, right now they are actually neither male nor female versions. In fact, they are kind of undefined right now, and yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we have time to do, or what is actually artistically possible there.
All right. What is the plan, and what are major obstacles to increase server performance, especially as actually doing anything noticeable for Fraction Online? Right now, it feels like any other laggy MMO launch.
Let's say we're working very, very hard on latency, on profiling the servers, finding bottlenecks, finding, just, I think I answered this before.
And this is actually the last question on our list. We've been through, we went through every question on the list, so
Straight through 'em,
we
blasted through 'em.
yeah, I mean, we've been live for a good hour, so. Then, anyways,
I'm getting hit.
is higher item quality planned to grant more bonuses than increased durability alone?
There is also an open discussion that we had. I mean, we do have another system to improve equipment that is called enchanting. That some players, players who have been with us for a while, they should have seen it already, where you could give +1, +2, +3, +4 to a piece of equipment. That system is going to be improved, and then it's going to come back. So that should make the item actually more powerful.
Right on.
Alrighty, so now that we went through all the questions, I'm gonna take a look at the chat and I see if there's some interesting questions from the chat that we can bring to Jacopo. I already saw one that may be nice to answer right away. Will we have the ability to rotate it says here the screen, but it probably means the camera.
The perspective.
Yep.
Rotate the camera? No. No. That question has been replied to many times.
Yeah.
No, that's not right.
Locked perspective.
Another question. There's too few items. It's static and boring. Will we get more items?
Like, you mean, what is the question is about? Is it about like armor?
I guess armor is something that the sort of like players can probably work towards on probably some mid late game.
Yeah, I mean, there is the whole idea of adding tier 3, you know, in tier 3 armor and tier 3 weapons. So after tier 2, they should make players look like different. Or there's also the one of the things that we could work on that's on the table is dyes to change the color of your armor, for example, or have it change color according to the material if it's built with if it's metal, for example, and so on. So to make people more recognizable and look a bit more different from each other, instead of having just one single color for each armor. That should also help with making players look a bit more different from one another.
Some armor
yeah.
dyes and stuff would definitely be cool to see if there's just a glowing purple tiger run into the room. Hey, that's me.
Okay, I'm gonna keep looking through the map. In the meanwhile, Knilpu, do you think it's a good time to?
You reading my mind, man. Definitely. I think it is. This time though, we're gonna need fresh. So we're gonna need some fresh faces, some fresh entries. I'm gonna bring this keyboard over here so I stop getting quiet. But we are getting close to the end of the day, and we've got a couple more packs to give away today. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and get everybody in the chat. If you want to win a gold founders pack on Steam for Fractured Online, exclamation point fractured in the chat. Exclamation point fractured in the chat. If you need help spelling that, it is right above Arcahem's head. Big, giant, pretty letters. Exclamation point fractured. This is for a gold Steam Founders Pack. That'll get you into the game today, and will also get you all of the gold rewards for when the game goes full launch in the future. Fractured.
In the meanwhile, let's answer this one question that I saw in chat. If there will be no camera rotation, will it be possible to further zoom out?
No.
You want to go further than this? What? I don't. You'd be this. You'd be this tall. Exclamation point fractured. Let's go ahead and roll it because I've got a special surprise. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna kill this boar first. You know, hit the right button on the right keyboard.
And
Yeah,
another interesting question that I've seen it come up fair well before you roll. Is there a plan to implement loot rolling while in a party?
Oh.
Loot for?
Loot rolling, so sort of like something drops and people can roll a dice for it.
Like instead of round robin.
Yeah, not for now, but maybe in the future.
That's definitely a question that I'll put into the mix, because group loot, round robin, free for all, like those are definitely options that are make party encounters a lot of fun. Exclamation point fractured. Let's go ahead and roll it. Our winner is gonna be Borelsium 8. Borelsium 8. Make your presence known in chat. Borelsium.
Borealism. How about
Borealism?
that?
Is that what it is?
Probably.
For realism, as I knock over my stuff. For realism, make your presence known in chat. We're gonna get you that gold pack for Fractured Online. There you are.
Is.
Hello works.
Rigged.
And you know what? Just because we're having such a great time today, and Jacopo joined us, and we've gotten through a lot of great questions, and we've had a lot of fun. How about we go ahead and we give away another one? What do you think?
That's good to me. How about that?
Exclamation point fractured. Get it in the chat. We're going to be rolling for another gold pack here on Steam. Get it in the chat. Exclamation point fractured. If you did just roll within the last 3 minutes, it does still count. So you don't have to spam it. If you want to,
You
that's
say
fine
that
too.
as they spam it.
Exclamation point fractured. I don't want to see any reasonable conscious thought in the chat for the next 45 seconds. All I want to see is exclamation point fractured. Get it in there. Fill it in. Let's get this one. This is going to be our last gold pack of the day. And Jacopo, it was an absolute delight having you here with us. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah. But let's see if there is any other, like, maybe there's another couple of questions I can reply to. If somebody drop them in the chat. Yeah, I don't know. It was somebody in the game before was in the global chat was complaining that I would not reply to the important answers, the important questions. So now I want to see what are the important questions that we could have missed. But,
well, then let's roll it. Let's declare the winner, Grumpy Old Bratwurst. Grumpy Old Bratwurst. If you would make your presence known in chat, we will get you a gold pack. There you are with the lull.
Oh my goodness. A content creator. Look at that.
Grumpy Old Bratwurst. A content creator? Well, that means they already have the game, right? Then they get a gold pack to give away to one of their followers. Congratulations to Grumpy Old Bratwurst's followers for winning this gold pack. Whoever you might be, we're going to get that code over to you right now. So let's go ahead. We're going to be ending the stream very soon, but as Jacopo stated, we want to answer your most burning questions. So no more raffles at this point, but go ahead and drop your questions in the chat, and let's get those last burning questions out now.
Yeah, if there is like, well, I don't know. I checked some up. I didn't really find any particularly burning in here, aside from someone talking about like duplicating items or something like that. But yeah, of course, if there's any like critical bug anywhere, I mean, we will always we're super ready to get in and ban the people doing it in case if they haven't reported it and fix it right away. So this already happened a few days ago with the bug involving player trading. There may be more. If there is more, we're on it.
Yep.
We will be on it immediately. And if there's really anything, please report it to a game master. That is going to arrive on our table very, very quickly and going to get fixed in the following patch. Also, necklaces on Terra. We need to make more necklaces. That's a very good question. We either add those animals on this planet as well, or we're going to make more necklaces that you can make from from Terra creatures. Mm-hmm. And for the flawless gems, actually, there's on the marketplace there's a pretty high availability of flawless gems. So if you don't find them yourself personally, check out the market. You should find it there.
I also see another question that it's has been spammed a fair bit. I think this is more about a bug. When the black map, good old players have it, it's finally getting a fix. I think this is something that we've seen a fair amount of times, and I think it's, at least from the top of my head, it's related to older graphics cards, but sometimes it's not.
It's about older graphics card. Actually, we were just starting to making new experiments just today. We're looking for a PC that is old enough to reproduce this, because it's not trivial, right? It's one of the biggest issues is that right now we don't have anyone in the team with a graphic card old enough to reproduce this. So we're trying to get a machine with that, something like a GTX 700 series. Actually, maybe the best 700 also are able to see the map, to use this compute shaders, they're called, that work on these maps and also do the grass on the ground, by the way, and some other stuff. We should hopefully have a machine soon available for the team where we can deploy new builds and keep iterating and see until we find out how to make it work even on the old GPUs. Because it's also, we reached out to the Unity team. The Unity team, Unity could not help us. It's a big mystery why this thing doesn't work. It should work on those GPUs, but it doesn't, and there is no easy explanation on that. If not rebuilding all these systems from scratch, piece by piece, until we find what is the piece that causes this issue. But for that, we need, as I said, we need to set up a machine, an old machine first, or a machine with an old GPU first. But yeah, we're on it.
I've got some old GPUs in a box somewhere. I could probably mail you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I also have one, but I think that it's completely fried, so I don't think that would work.
Yeah.
I used to work at a Bitcoin farm. I have a lot of old parts.
Oh.
There are a couple of questions regarding bugs, exploits, things like that. There are fixes being worked on that and to alleviate that, and it basically comes down to, you know, don't be a bad person. Like if you discover an exploit like that, don't exploit it. Don't share it. Report it, and then don't use it. Just don't be, you know, a shitheel. Just be a good person, really, when it comes to stuff like that. A lot of those addresses, a lot of those security issues and speed hacking and stuff like that, those are being addressed and those being taken care of on a case by case basis. We are working on ways to fix that.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, I mean, fixing things like speed hacking is complex, but you know, because when you do this type of checks server side, then you risk also to block people which are actually innocent, you know, that are actually just having connection issues, for example, latency problems, or like in jittery connections. And so we are trying to protect the clients better and have a system like heuristic systems to identify who is using these hacks and so on. We're working on it. Like it's also one of the big priorities for the next weeks.
I'm still taking a look at chat. I think we could probably take a look for a couple of minutes. So if you have any questions, drop them in chat now, and we'll try to answer them as best as we can.
Woo! I love it when questions come in so fast they're hard to read.
What's up with Terra headdresses?
Oh yeah, well yeah, you don't have we should, it's like the necklaces, like we should have yeah, absolutely. I mean, eventually we're also considering the possibility of having those like headdresses as like an extra pieces and have the hide armor just have a normal helmet that is not a wolf, also because or a deer, also because then you would have a deer with a deer helmet on it.
I have been asking since my second week at the company for a horse head, so I'm still waiting on bated breath.
Yeah.
One day.
Human headdress in. I don't know about, maybe, who knows. I'm just like, I don't know about that. Would you want to do that, Jacopo? A human headdress?
It's, I don't know, questionable.
It's just a face. Silence of the Lambs, anyone?
Oh yeah, Hannibal.
I'm down.
That's a good character.
That'd be fun. This is like the 5th subclass is just Hannibal. We got a lot of questions getting in there. We're still hanging out for a few minutes, everyone. So if you've got some burning questions, drop them in chat. If your questions don't get answered today and you can't sleep over it, please come over to our Discord and drop the question in our Discord. And one of the dev team members or CM team members or Arcahem himself will get back to you eventually with it. We're human too. We're busy. Well, I'm a tiger, but we're human too. So we're busy, but we can't get to every single question today, but we absolutely want to make sure that we get to the hard pressing ones and the ones that we absolutely can answer. Again, if you don't get your question answered today, don't fret, don't give up on life. Just come join us in Discord and ask your questions in there and we'll get back to you. This is not the only time that the devs will answer questions about the game.
Yeah. Okay, I think we have replied enough at this point.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
Let's take it away from God, I love these transitions. They're so cool. Let's take it away from the gameplay. Jacopo, thank you so much for joining us today. It was an absolute delight. We got to give away a lot of stuff and answer a ton of questions from the community. Arcahem, thank you for joining me as well.
Oh, my pleasure.
I couldn't do this without you, at least, and so I'm glad that we convinced Jacopo to join us.
All right.
Now, as we wrap up the stream today, we are going to be popping you guys over to a friend of ours, someone who has been streaming Fraction Online recently and has been doing an okay job with it. So we're going to definitely get you guys over there. So hang out for more Fraction Online content. Definitely stay tuned to this channel for the future because we're going to be doing a lot of streams in the month of October. We've got some very special stuff planned for the end of the month to celebrate Halloween. So stay tuned to all of the Fraction Online social network channels and the Gaming Go Twitch stream itself. And we will see you all very soon next time.
Oh my goodness, the
All right.
tease.
I'm nothing but the best teaser. Thank you all so much, everyone. You guys, please say goodbye to the people.
I'll do my usual heart, the demonic heart.
Thank you all so much
All
for
right.
coming.
It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure talking to the community again from the stream. It's always like I don't have the chance to do it as often as I used to do it before because the team has grown, so it's harder to find the time. But whenever I do, like today, it's always like it feels really, really good. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
We'll definitely try to do this a couple more times. I know also a lot of the community enjoys hearing from you, Jacopo. So we'll try to do it relatively often, but not too often.
And because someone was curious, the questions for today's stream for the AMA did come from Discord, Twitch, and Facebook. So in the future, for the next AMA stream, when we ask for questions, we do pull from multiple sources. So do make sure that you drop your questions. Thank you all so much.
Thanks to you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Enjoy your day. Bye.